Aerodromes Annex 14. Aerodrome reference codes are a system of code numbers and letters selected for aerodrome planning purposes in accordance with the characteristics of the aeroplane for which an aerodrome facility is intended. They consist of two elements, a code number based on reference field length and a code letter based on wingspan and outer main gear wheel span.
Width of taxiways. ICAO recommends widths of taxiways based on codes. The code letters are given to aeroplanes dependent upon the clearance distance of their outer main wheel and the edge of the taxiway, according to a table. Two terms are used, wheelbase, which is nose to main wheel distance, and outer main gear wheel span. For example, a code letter of D shall be chosen to identify a taxiway used by aircraft having an outer main gear wheel span of less than 9 meters. The taxiway width shall be 18 meters, according to the table.
Water deposits. Damp, the surface shows a change of colour. Wet, the surface is soaked but there's no standing water. Water patches. There are significant patches of standing water. Flooded, there is extensive standing water. Physical characteristics. A runway strip is defined as an area including runway and stopway intended to reduce the risk of damage to the aircraft running off a runway. Also to protect aircraft flying over it during takeoff and landing. A runway end safety area is intended to reduce the risk of damage to an aircraft undershooting or overrunning the runway. It should extend for at least 90 meters from the end of the runway strip. A clearway should not exceed half the takeoff run available and should extend laterally to at least 75 meters from the extended centerline. A stopway should be the same width as the associated runway. A radio altimeter operating area is located in the pre-threshold area of a precision approach runway. It extends at least 300 meters before the threshold and normally 60 meters either side of the extended centerline. Visual aids markings. Runway markings are white. Taxiway stand markings are yellow. Apron safety lines are a conspicuous colour contrasting with stand markings. Centerline marking must be provided for a paved runway. Transverse stripe denotes a displaced threshold. Visual aids signs. Mandatory signs are white writing on a red background. They identify a location beyond which aircraft vehicles may not proceed without authorization from ATC. For example, runway designation signs, Cat 1, 2, 3 holding position signs, taxi holding position signs. Location, at least on the left-hand side of the taxiway, except that Cat 1, 2 and 3 signs must be placed on each side of the holding position. Information signs are yellow writing on black background or black writing on yellow background. Examples are taxiway location signs, runway location signs, direction signs and destination signs. Lights. Elevated lights should be frangibly mounted. That is, they should break easily if hit. An aerodrome beacon is flashing green and white or flashing white. It may also be flashing 2-letter identification code in green. A military aerodrome is equipped with red beacons. Approach lighting. A simple approach system used on non-instrument or non-precision runways. And precision approach system. The simple approach lighting system is a row of lights on an extended centerline which extends at least 420 meters from the threshold. There's a crossbar at 300 meters from the threshold, 18 or 30 meters in length. The system is made of fixed lights, coloured so as to be readily distinguishable from other aeronautical ground lights and extraneous lighting. Cat 1 lighting system. A row of lights on the extended centerline which extends to 900 meters from the threshold. A crossbar at 300 meters from the threshold, 30 metres in length. Centerline and crossbar lights are fixed, showing variable white. The inner 300 metres of the centerline is one light source. The central 300 metres of the centerline is two light sources, and the outermost 300 metres of the centerline is three light sources. Cat 2-3 lighting system. A row of lights on the extended centerline which extends to 900 metres from the threshold. Two side rows of lights extending 270 metres from the threshold. Crossbars at 150 metres and 300 metres from the threshold. The centerline and crossbar lights are fixed, showing variable white. The inner 300 metres of the centerline has barrettes, at least 4 metres in length. Beyond 300 metres from the threshold, barrettes are used on the inner 300. In the central 300 metres there are two light sources. In the outermost 300 metres there are three light sources. Precision Approach Path Indicator (PAPI) and abbreviated PAPI systems. For the PAPI there are 4 lamp units located on the left of the runway. Too high it will indicate with 4 whites. On glide slope it will indicate 2 whites, 2 reds, and too low 4 reds. The abbreviated PAPI only has 2 lamp units located on the left of the runway. Too high is 2 whites. On glide slope is 1 white, 1 red. Too low is 2 reds. Other lighting systems. Touchdown zone lighting on Cat 2-3 runways extends from the threshold to either 900 metres or the runway midpoint, whichever is the least. Runway edge lighting is normally white. On the precision approach runway without centerline lighting, yellow lights are installed on the upwind 600 metres or 1/3 of the lighted runway length, whichever is less. Runway centerline lighting for runways equipped for low visibility operations. White centerline lights from the threshold to 900 metres from the runway end. The next 600 metres is alternating white and red lights. The last 300 metres is red lights. Taxiway lighting is green centerline or blue edge lighting. Taxiway centerline lights, which lie within the ILS sensitive area, alternate between green and yellow. Obstacle lights. These may be low, medium or high intensity. High intensity lights are used when the obstacle height exceeds 150 metres. If the top of the obstacle is more than 45 metres high, additional lights must be provided at intermediate levels. When low, medium intensity lights are used, the spacing must not exceed 45 metres. When high intensity lights are used, the spacing must not exceed 105 metres. Low intensity lights are for fixed obstacles and are coloured red. Mobile obstacles are flashing yellow but may also be red. Medium intensity is flashing red or white when used in conjunction with high intensity lights. High intensity are flashing white and are intended for 24-hour use. Emergency services. The aerodrome category for rescue and firefighting is based on the overall length of the longest aircraft using the aerodrome and maximum fuselage width. The response time is the time between initial call and the first responding vehicle applying foam at a rate of at least 50% of the discharge rate required. The response times to each end of the runway are normally 2 minutes and a maximum of 3 minutes.